2, 1.
Hello, I'm Ed Close. Welcome to another in this series of videos telling the story of a discovery that has shocked, stunned, and surprised nearly everyone who has heard about it. This discovery is the first real scientific breakthrough since relativity and quantum mechanics. It is a real paradigm shift that integrates science and spirituality for the very first time and produces a real theory of everything. This is my story. As a 14-year-old, when my friends were interested in 4-H Club, Marilyn Monroe, the Everly Brothers, and Elvis Presley, my ideal was Albert Einstein. This series of videos tells a story of discoveries that will change our world for the better, in my opinion. For me, the story began in 1951, when I was 14 and first learned of Einstein's theory of relativity. Relativity opened a vast new world to my young mind. His discoveries made me realize that the physical world, the stage upon which we seem to appear from nowhere and act out our lives, is not really what it seems to be. One summer evening in 1952, thinking about the theory of relativity, I stood on the bank of a pond watching the sunset. "What is reality?" I asked aloud. "I want to know everything." In that instant, I had an experience that has profoundly affected my life. I won't describe the experience here, but for a moment I was aware of an expanded reality underlying and existing within and beyond the physical reality that I normally perceived. On June 9th, 1952, Albert Einstein wrote the final note to the 15th edition of his little book, Relativity, a theory that everyone can understand. And less than 3 years later, unfortunately, he passed away at his home in Princeton, New Jersey, and I cried because I never would be able to meet this great man, the genius who inspired me to want to become a physicist. I did go on to study mathematics and physics, to graduate school, had a degree in math and physics, and did graduate work in quantum physics and theoretical physics. But because of my experience in the twilight of that summer day in 1952, I've always known that there was something more to reality. That something is as real or even more real than the matter and energy of our physical environment. So while I was studying physics and mathematics in college and university, I also began to study consciousness expansion techniques, and I began to meditate daily. Now, some of this has been published before. In fact, in 1990, I published a book entitled Infinite Continuity. It was 310 pages long, which gave the basis for the calculus of distinctions, the method that I use in TDVP. This is an adaptation of George Spencer Brown's calculus of indications, and I applied it to several well-known physics and cosmological problems. In 1997, excuse me, Transcendental Physics was published. In this book, I pointed science in a new direction. Instead of asking, how can we explain consciousness in terms of matter, I asked, can matter be explained in terms of consciousness? And the book was written for the informed layperson, with most of the mathematics placed in the appendices. Then, more recently, Dr. Nepi and I, 2012, published Reality Begins with Consciousness, 423 pages, which combines a lot of the ideas that we both had developed over many years and explains a lot of the detail about that I'll be talking about in future videos. So please join me as I continue on this journey to the theory of everything, a real theory of everything that works. Thank you.